Valley. All right, but then the mines closed, but they already had the construction under, and they didn't shut anything down. Well, we have a lot of breaks in the pipes uptown, where we have irrigation water and clear water flowing into the pipes. Okay, so we had to be able to treat that. And so they built the plant big enough to do the capacity, and then they are going back uptown, and you see the guys up there working on the infrastructure underneath the streets, and they're solving those problems. Right now they are in the process of a few spots of slipping a pipe. They take about a 2-block section, okay, and they run a piece of plastic. First of all, they clean it out. They run a little robot down. It measures to the millimeter where the holes are and all the things that are going on.
Things are good because they eat the bacteria.
Yeah, the bacteria is what starts out. That's what's coming out of your insides. Okay? Coliform bacteria. Coli, C-O-L-I, means of the colon. All right? So anytime you hear that word like E. coli, Escherichia coli, named after a scientist by the name of Escherichia. He discovered it. That's our bacteria. Right now, E. coli has mutated. And it used to be just an indicator bacteria and wasn't harmful. Because the engineers missed on bringing the pipe in, missed by 1.5 feet, we had to put in a lift station which lifts the liquid into the regular plant. Okay, so there's always a correction. But it does that. And that's this place. Now, Dos Rios is flowing at about 225,000 gallons a minute right now. I mean, per day, not minute, per day. Okay, and then that's added to ours. Ours is running right now at 2 million gallons per day. Right? These little spikes is when this pump kicks in. That it has a total coliform count, which is a surface water count. That's the water that's out on the ground. And what is the earth? It's a place for everything to defecate. Okay, you know what defecation means. Okay, everything does it out there. Okay, the bugs, the birds, the bees, everything. And okay, so it comes back. So this water sample is bad. This I do is I count the number of good squares and bad squares, and there's a calculation up on those charts that shows that how many organisms per 100 milliliters. Okay, so what I would like to do is show you what happens when we find E. coli. These are yellow, so that means they're surface water. Well, naturally, right? That's water flowing through a plant. Okay? This is an ultraviolet light. Now see that? How that fluoresces? These are pretty, this one here I think is, this was Lake City. And this sample is Lake City. See, I called them and said, your disinfection system's not working. So they brought me another sample. All right? And this shows, this one here is Elmont. Okay, so all of these went bad, and then you see I've marked off these little ones. Well, that's only about 460 organisms per 100 milliliters. Okay, so it's good because they have a 2,000 organism limit. This was invented by IDEX Corporation. I put it into the little container, as you can see, and then over here I have a sealer. So you're the first class to be able to see this.
Yeah, ever.
To get a chance to. This goes right through and seals that up. I just got in 3 from Juanita Hot Springs too, so I've got things being busy today. This goes through.
This is the lift that they needed because they were 1.5 feet off on the pipe, so this is the lift.
Come on, gang. Gotta move faster. Use compost. We take the sludge, which is a byproduct of the bugs, okay? Everything that lives has waste, right? So we call that sludge. The sludge we take out of the plant so that we don't have that death curve, all right? So we move that we move that growth curve back and forth all the time. And so that's the liquid that belongs in the plant, okay? So we just mixed up a new batch this morning. See that plant up there? Anybody recognize it? It's a tomato plant. When you eat tomatoes, the seeds do not digest. So they come down the sewer to us. We can't separate them out, so they go in the compost pile. Until he started putting the stuff on this week, this was full of tomatoes.
If a $5 bill came out, would you grab it? These are 22 feet deep, and this is oxygenating the water that comes out after the solids have been removed, mostly. In this foam you can see the black, or the brown, and the brown stuff is, well, I can never remember how to say it, but it's a byproduct of bacteria. The white things you see floating around are condoms and sanitary napkins that didn't come out in the mechanical digestion part. This is not being used right now, and so it has algae growing on it. But
What is that? What is
it's algae. Each one of these holds about 1 million gallons, and they have a lot of extra space for in case they have extra people they have to take care of in our county. I forgot the name of the brown stuff, like the brown foam.
The brown foam is Nacardia foam. It's a
Nacardia foam. And Nacardia algae. There we go. That's right. They're just getting oxygenated. Okay, they're going into the clarifiers. This is like the large intestines or the kidneys. So the water's going to be coming out looking pretty clear. So we've got sludge and there's a moving arm just going around, but you can see how clear it looks at the end. Clarifiers.
Material back up in the headworks. So what you were just on is a large 1 million gallon tank. And so we have a way to pump that sludge back up. Well, that's what these are. These are variable speed. They run the motors. And so as your flow increases, you have to increase your pump, right? As your flow gets less, you decrease it. Same as your automobile when you're driving down the road. You want to increase, you step on the accelerator, right? And everything works.
So
Well,
these pumps used to fill the whole blue bin.
These cabinets were full of electronics. Okay? This cabinet was full of material. And so they replaced it with this module. Right?
And the next ones get smaller and smaller and smaller. If a $5 bill came out, would you grab it? It's the last of the pumping system. These big things were what we were just in a few minutes ago with all the bugs. Now we're down below it. This is where the clarifier water comes through. That's what it looks like going out after all the UV lights. So from this building straight